Welcome, dear friends. Here we are, another day, another opportunity for us to learn with Emmanuel. And today's message is from the book Words of Life Eternal, it's chapter 37. In this chapter, Emmanuel will help us examine the things that we do each and every day. He titled this message, Let Us Examine Our Hands. The Bible quote is from Matthew chapter 8, verses 3, that says, And Jesus, stretching out his hand, touched him, saying, I will be clean, unquote. So this is the reflection that you and I are going to have about this message. Let us reflect on the greatness and sublimity of hands that extend themselves for good. So he's talking about having the blessings of hands for those who are able to, but not only having the hands idle, but the hands that extend to help others. So, what are our hands doing to help others? He says, hands that plow the earth, that build homes and schools, cities and nations, that write with love, praising knowledge, that heal in medicine, that shape the wealth of science and industry, that ensure comfort and progress. So these are ways that you and I can reach out. Our hands can plow the earth. You can have a beautiful vegetable garden, or you can be a farmer, right? Less likely that you and I will be farmers, but we can create with our hands. We can build homes, schools, cities, and nations. So we can use the hands to improve the environment around us. Hands that write with love, praising knowledge. And I'm going to put an asterisk here, a very emphasis on writing with love, praising knowledge in an era where you and I can write with our thumbs, with our likes, with our shares, that we want to be a part of the community, right? And like, subscribe and hit the notifications, spread the good news. So when we write with love, we spread that love to others instead of writing with hatred and spreading misinformation. Because here you say praising knowledge. Knowledge is a divine gift that you and I have. We all know something, and some of us are expert in things. So we have to praise those who put in the time to know of things that help all of us. So when we write with love, praising knowledge, meaning I can also write beautiful messages, cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards, right? Holiday cards. Also, hands that heal in medicine. So he's already telling us if you are in the medicine world, as any of the medical professionals, you are in medicine to heal, not to take advantage of your position to just for your own gain. So we have to, yes, we are allowed to make money, we're allowed to have good jobs, but we are primarily in for healing that shape the wealth of science and industry. So the superior spirits are waiting for us to use our hands to the good. So when we align ourselves with the good and we are inspired to work on different areas of society, science, medicine, engineering, mathematics, if you're building homes, if you're fixing things in people's houses, if you're doing whatever work it is, we are ensuring comfort and progress. All we have to do is imagine. We can watch the shows and we can watch period um, movies and documentaries and see how much we have improved in 2000 years. In the time of Jesus, he walked, he didn't have the cars we have today. In the time of Jesus, they had medicine, of course they did. And they also had the medicine that is ancestral, right? Um, Plant medicine, homeopathic medicine, but a simple cut to your feet could lead you into sepsis and you would die. And it was only until the beginning of the 19th century that we have antibiotics that can cure diseases. So that's progress. And that progress allows you and I to live longer. And as we live longer, we can have our hands to serve, to extend themselves for good so we can help everyone. So the theme is service. He says, all of these hands open generously towards the infinite, generating improvement and tranquility, gratitude and joy, joining together, self denying in the extension of the blessings of wisdom and love in the work of God. So when we understand that we're here on this earth to learn and to serve, everything that we do, everything that we have accomplished that allows us to do today, we can give back to the community, because we did not build the roads we drive on, we didn't build the cars we drive, maybe some of us did. We didn't educate ourselves in the schools, we didn't build the schools, we weren't our own teachers. So there's a whole host of people that allows you and I to fulfill the law of society. So we use our gifts to serve others. So if you want to understand in details about professions and vocations, you want to go into the book Foreign Life by Emmanuel, where he will dive into what is a vocation, what is a profession, which has direct relation to what we are seeing today, which is how we use our hands to help others. He says, let us think of the hands that stretch themselves towards the shadow of evil. Right? Remember, there are millions and millions of spirits working towards the good every day. There's at least 8 billion working for the good. Who are they? Our spirit mentors, right? One-to-one relationship. If there's 8 billion incarnates, there will be 8 billion discarnate spirit mentors. Basic math there. And there are millions and millions of workers who come to earth every day, stretching out their arms towards the regions of suffering, which include our homes, our neighborhoods, and our communities. They're stretching towards those even who we consider criminals and helping them as well. So we have to help those who are in need. Spiritism came for the sick, not for the healed. He says, there are hands that will transform themselves into claws of greed, that will be shedding blood and tears, that will lead the crowd into disorder, right? We see politicians, power in positions of people in positions of power who lead us astray over time, different times in humanity. Hands that wound others, right? That is slander, and he uses here hands that slander into letters, cursing that poison. So we have to think about, I'm going to focus on this slander into letters, because in this time where this book was written, we used to write letters, then we write emails, and now today we send messages and we share things on our social media accounts. So when we are not careful, when we don't do what Jesus said, watch and pray, what happens? We might be forces of evil spreading what's not good around us. So we have to be mindful. Sharing the good, sharing the experts, praising science, praising knowledge and expertise of those who put in the time, and knowing how to develop critical thinking to know what's wrong and what's fake, right? That's the challenges of today. All of these who are transforms themselves into the claws of greed close in on themselves in circles of affliction and remorse. So he's saying action, reaction. If I reach my hand stretched out to do the good, I reap goodness, spiritual collaborations and relationships that further our development. If I bring myself into alignment and my hands are towards evil, then I cause affliction and remorse. So a lot of the things that you and I suffer in this life is due to the actions of our selves, our own selves. There's nobody to blame. We did the deed back then, and now we reap. We sowed intrigue, slander, we reap it today. Even if it was many lifetimes ago, but today we focus on what can I do forward? How can I release myself from this darkness of suffering that we cause to ourselves, right? He will say, let us therefore examine what forces of life we extend our hands to. What forces of life are we extending our hands to? To the good or to the evil? To building, to constructing, to gaining knowledge, to healing, to service, or to slander and criticism. Even cursing, he says. When we curse, there's vibration in our words. There's sourness that can exalt from us and reach others and our own selves. But Jesus stretched it out. Remember Matthew's quote says he stretched out the hands and cleansed, will be clean. So he was performing a healing on that Bible quote. And he says, Jesus, who the divine master, walked the world, extending his hands in the service of all. And how did he do that? And that's what you and I can do as co-creators in our lesser plane. We can do it in our lives. Teaching and helping, healing and comforting, relieving sick bodies and lifting fallen souls. This is something that we can do now. We can teach, we can help, we can heal, and we can comfort. We can relieve the sick and we can lift the fallen ones. And Emmanuel will finish. And to show us the supreme value of hands consecrated to constant good, Jesus chose to die on the cross with hands outstretched, as if opening the heart full of love for all of humanity. So if Jesus is our guide and our model, the homework is look to stretch out your hands to those around you who are in need, starting with our families, helping with teaching, healing, comforting, relieving the sick, lifting the fallen. So, dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this message from the book, Words of Life Eternal. And God willing, I'll be back with you another time with another message from one of the books of Emmanuel. Until then, may you stay well, may you stay safe. Write to us, subscribe, and like. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.